Alright, Alhamdulillah. Assalamualaikum everybody. Selamat Raya, Kov Eid Mubarak to everyone. This is Halal Stock Hunters with Afiq and Adi. Tonight we're going to be reviewing our portfolio, our Halal investing in our portfolio, and we've got two new stocks to share with you. It'll be very interesting, very exciting. Let me just really quickly share my screen so we can get started really easily. Mana dia? Screen number 2. So, welcome to Halal Stock Hunters, everyone. Alhamdulillah, it has been a very interesting week over the past 2 weeks. Actually, if you notice, it's been a bit of red in the markets everywhere. And today we're going to review what we have. And this was our portfolio review back then. On the 5th of May, we got into Crocs, Freeport, Tractor Supply Company, and Pan American Silver Company as well. And so just to bring you a quick up to speed, Crocs as of today, 16th of May, has dropped from our initial position by 2%. Freeport at one point was up almost 10%. Now it's just under 5%. Tractor Supply Company was down just under 3%. And of course, PAAS is down 10%. Now, 10%. Now, I want to highlight this because last week we spoke about stop losses and how we can mitigate our risk. And so I want to introduce my partner, my buddy, Adi. Adi has been doing trading for the past, I think before I was born. That joke I will make every week, Adi, until we stop laughing. Okay. And so I want to introduce to you Adi Ismail, founder of Pro Traders Network, and he's going to talk to us a little bit about our portfolio. Specifically, let's talk about Pan American Silver Company first because it's down 10%. What do we do, Adi?
Okay, actually, Afiq, we were discussing about, whether we should actually take a loss on PAAS, right? But PAAS is basically a company which is dealing in silver. And actually, in my opinion, that commodity over the medium term is actually poised to go up. So in this situation, we could look at the fundamentals of silver and commodities in general. So if going by the fundamentals, I guess we can still hold on to this particular stock. But of course, if you just go on by technicals, then it will be a different story, right?
Correct. And so what's your opinion on this? What do you think?
My opinion is that PAAS is still a hold.
It has hit our 10% down. That was actually our stop loss. So technically, if we were trading this, we would have been kicked out already. So how? Should we buy back?
Well, basically, we could actually put in we were discussing about the stop loss to be between 10 to 15%, even 20%, right? Especially for stocks that are highly volatile. So if you look at the PAAS chart, I can remember it's actually a bowl shape and price is within that bowl shape and it's like moving up and down, right? I can still remember quite vividly. So as long as price does not go below that U-shaped pattern, I think we are still okay.
Okay. Do you want to show the chart just to share with our community what we're talking about? Okay,
let me just share my screen.
Folks, if you're watching this and you find it valuable while Adi is doing this, do share the live video on your timeline. Let us know how best we can improve this and tell us what you want to learn about. We do this just for you, and inshallah, we will help our Muslim community achieve financial independence through both passive and active investing. So Adi, all yours.
Yeah. Okay, I think last week, right, we actually drew this particular shape. Okay, let me just draw it for you guys. Hold on. Yep. So as long as it's still within this particular bowl shape, it's okay actually for us to hold on to this particular stock, because I feel that it is a bit volatile. We were discussing about this. If you look at our videos a couple of days ago, if not a week or two, I did draw the support level here at 29.16, right? So as you can see, price can bounce from 38 and goes down all the way to 29, bounce back up to 36, goes down to 28, goes up to 38, it goes back down to 28. So it's quite a volatile stock actually. But as long as this particular support does not actually, price does not break below it, I think it's still good to hold. And at the same time, we have horizontal support at the 29 level, $29 level. So right now it's at about 31, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I can see another support level as well at this point. At a $25 level. But if it goes to this point, it could actually go to this point, even reverse from here. So, but below this, I'm not confident anymore.
So if it touches 29 and breaks down that support, we might not want to do a call on it anymore, right?
Yep. If it, let's say, break below this support at 29, we might see it go all the way to 24, 20, 25. But below 25, I think this thing can just go down lower, right? So there should be a stop loss somewhere, either if you are actually able to hold for at this point now at $30.95, it's still considered still within our the bandwidth that I would give to us to actually hold this particular stock. But somewhere at around, if it falls below the 29 level, then you might want to actually consider a stop at around $27, right?
Yeah.
Or you might even want to consider a stop loss at around $24, because there's one support level here and there's another support level here. So if it goes below here, there's no more support level. The next support level will be at $10, and that's going to be a big loss, to your account if you decide to actually allow this trade to fall further towards the $10 or $11 level.
Ah, man, that's a what, 70% drop from $30?
Yeah. So we shouldn't allow that to happen. So at this point, I guess we just continue to monitor this particular stock. In that, in the earlier analysis, we said that this particular area will hold as support, and at this point, you can see that at 29, the price did came down to about $29, and but it was kind of like pushed back up to $31. You can see a small little shadow here in this particular weekly candle.
Yep.
Right? So if you look in the past, PAAS is prone to actually, deep falls like that. So the best way to actually buy this particular stock is when it is near this rounded pattern. So if I've not bought into this particular stock, I might consider buy, because from a low of 31, it can shoot back up to the 36, easily about a 15 to 18% upside. Right?
Yeah, that actually looks like it's getting ready to bounce up. Like you say, we have to watch for the next few days at least until next week, because tomorrow is Monday, and things might be happening this coming week. And so let's watch PAAS. If it does continue moving sideways, okay, fine. But it does look like it's gonna go up, and if it does break 29, I think we will just let go of this and take the loss. Remember, folks, trading is not about making 100% wins, but making more wins than losses, and know when to take the loss. Right, Adi?
Yes, correct. Need to take a loss so that you can survive and, basically go for your next trade. So in this situation, you can see that you can actually put a stop loss somewhere around the $27 level. So if it ever comes into this point, this area here, you will be taken out of your trade. Right? So this is also a learning point for everyone. If it's best to actually buy when it's retracing, especially for a stock that's going up and down like this, it's good to buy when it's near the support level. Because if you buy on the high side here and it flips the next week, you could have have a drawdown on your account, right?
Yeah.
So you got to take a look at how the stock is moving, whether it is in a this momentum is to the upside, like this one, when it was moving from somewhere in March last year, after 23rd March, it started to go up and the momentum is very strong. So in this kind of situation, if you actually buy when the candle is blue, the next week it can still push up. But at this in this instance, we see that, it's been going up and down, volatile movement sideways. Therefore, in this kind of situation, you will be better off buying at the lower ends of the support level.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Okay, so I think we can move on, right, Afiq, to the next.
Oh, yes. So with Pan American Silver Corporation, I think for us, we would say let's hold. If you're already in it, hold. If you're not in it, let's just watch a bit longer. Before we go into our stock picks for tonight, I would like to touch on our existing portfolio, Adi, if that's okay. Because we have Crocs and Freeport as well as Tractor Supply. So let's go to Crocs first, CROX. What do you think about Crocs? We know the last time we spoke about it, fundamentally speaking, it was a good company to buy, moving up. And we did forecast a little bit more of volatility in the coming weeks. And this is exactly what we are experiencing. And so whether we want to continue holding on to this particular counter. What do you think, Adi?
Okay, hold on, yeah. Okay, I'm trying to... Okay, this is our Crocs chart. Right, so this is our chart, and we did say that support level is around the 19,709 level. And as you can see, price did actually, I drew the arrow down, indicating that price could actually fall further from where it was in retracement, right? Remember, before it even retraced, I actually did draw this candle. And yes, it did come to that level. And then, you saw buyers coming in to push it back up and close above the $100 level, which is actually quite good because the $100 level is being defended well at this point, right? And I think I did say that this is the zone where the bears might push it towards this area and we might see the bulls coming in to push it back up, right? However, we don't know. Basically, we are looking at the chart as it unfolds. So at this point, I would say that next week, we might see this area being tested again. And however, if we see a big bullish candle that is able to pierce through the resistance at 109, then we could say that the uptrend is continuing, right?
Yes.
But however, we need to see the overall market. If the overall market is steady and doesn't make bigger falls or make falls like what it did last week, and it has stopped retracing, and I think stocks like Crocs would actually benefit from that and move to the upside. But at this point, we just need to actually observe further before we could come to any conclusion yet. Yeah, but if we are already in this trade, it's negative a little, about 2+%, but that's not going to get us worried that much, not yet, unless it, of course, reaches beyond 10%, then we might take a loss based on those figures.
Absolutely. Right? Absolutely right. So far, I think from a conviction perspective, I still like Crocs as a counter. We'll continue to observe this in the coming weeks. And like you say, if it does touch $97, then we watch whether it breaks the $97 and then considering we might get up. Let's cover our next three more, which we had was Freeport, FCX.
Okay, so like Crocs as well, we saw that this particular stock has also shown a black candle last week. It closed in black, meaning that we saw down moves from highs of about $46. It closed around 42. It touched somewhere at a 40.79. And down here, we did say that we have support at 43.47 because if we look to the left, right, we can see that that figure happened to be resistance and then support. So price have actually closed below it actually. So, it would be better if like the price closed above this support level, then I would say that it's a strong, the bulls are quite strong, right? And able to push the bears back up. But right now it is at this point, and next week we might see the next support level at $37 being tested again, all right? And so, yeah, we got to take a look at whether this particular support does hold, because if it doesn't hold, if it goes below, then we could actually look to actually take a loss on this particular play. Yeah.
All right. So with Freeport, I think once again, the general market is taking a bit of a beating everywhere. And we are watching Freeport, looking at these numbers. Again, continue to observe. This coming week will be very interesting for everyone. We did see the support at 37. So let's see if it touches that. If it breaks that support, then we may have to cut our losses, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
right.
Last one to review was our TSCO, Tractor Supply Company, one of my favorite ones, very interesting stock to look at. And as of today, since we bought it on the 5th of May, it's actually down just under 3% at 2.89, minus 2.89. So Adi, what's your opinion on TSCO?
The uptrend is still intact. Yes, of course, we have the weekly candle. As you can see, it's black, and it did fell like the other two stocks that we covered. But the uptrend is still intact, and I don't see, unless of course it falls further from here, right? But we have the support level at 154.87, which should hold this stock. All right, it should hold this stock and prevent it from further falls. So, yep, at this point, we can see that the candle actually fell all the way. Price fell to around 180.76, but before the end of the week, before the candle closed, buyers pushed it back up to around 187.88. Right, so it's actually quite similar with all the other stocks. And for TSCO, however, I can see that it's actually showing a much more bullish bullish chart, right? So our target is actually at the top 215, right? Making extrapolating this move here, and so hopefully, if the market next week is able to show some resilience, we might see price of TSCO and all our other stocks in the portfolio actually flip back to the upside. At this point, we need to observe further, right? How next week the stock market overall performs, as it affects all our stocks that is in our portfolio at this point. Yep.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic review there. Folks, I'm going to say this amongst all our companies here, Crocs, Freeport, and TSCO. I personally would like to hold these for the long term. So even if it does come down slightly, I am comfortable holding it. And so there's two things you want to consider. What is your overall strategy? And so we're using a mix of both passive investing, where we buy and hold, as well as active investing, where we specifically choose specific stocks and decide how it's going to go up. Now, so tonight, here's the best part. We have picked two counters, which I think might be very, very interesting. Adi, I'm going to share my slides just really quickly. So there we go. So today's picks are actually two counters. One is Intuit, which is a software company focusing on financial software. They've got a big presence in the US and in Canada. Their main offerings are actually TurboTax, which are software that help people do taxes. Mint, which is a personal finance app which helps people track their personal expenses and finance, basically. And QuickBooks, which helps SMEs do their, accounting. Ever since they IPO'd in 2005, I've been watching them. Their revenue has been increasing. There has every year since 2005, their revenue increased, their profit margin increased. In fact, operations, even the employee base has increased bit by bit every year. So this company, in my opinion, is a good one to hold for the long term. And I'll give it back to Adi to look at the chart for something a bit shorter term. Adi, go.
Thank you, Afiq, for sharing with us on Intuit. It's an interesting company, and I think it's some of its products are already in Singapore, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So, okay, let's look at Intuit right now. Okay, so this is the weekly chart of Intuit. As you can see, since 23rd of March, since the bottom that was created somewhere in 23rd of March last year, we had actually a bull run in this particular stock. And at this point, I would say that the bull run has not ended yet, right? So we are seeing higher lows, which I can just mark. Okay, we are seeing higher lows here and here, as well as here. So the stock keep on making higher lows. Anyway, this is the weekly chart. And then we are seeing another higher low at this point here, right? So every time when it makes a higher low, it actually will proceed to actually go on a bullish move. Before it starts to find resistance, it retraces lower, find another support level. It moves higher than the previous low, and then it finds a higher support level. And then it moves, at this point, it did not actually move higher. It is in line with the resistance that was created on 16th of February, right? So it is trying to move higher right now. Okay, last week's candle was actually bullish when most of the stocks in NYSE as well as in Nasdaq were actually in the red. So not bad, right, Afiq?
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, when you look at finance, I mean, a company that does financial software, right? It fits a niche that a lot of people need. Whether you're an SME or whether you're an individual, you still need to do both your accounting and your taxes. And Mint has been, I'm in personal finance, and Mint has been on my radar for the longest time. I've been watching Mint, and I didn't know that Mint was actually owned by Intuit until quite recently. And so I see strong value in this company. And if we look at the chart that Adi is drawing right now, it looks so nice. And we can extrapolate that it might even touch what, 500? Is that it? Eventually?
It could actually, it could go to 450, and of course, on the high side is 500. But do take note that this particular channel is actually getting tighter, right? Right. So that means to say that at a certain point around the here, we can see this stock actually falling.
Yeah.
That's a possibility because this kind of patterns, right, shows that basically price is when it's tightening in this kind of structure, it can actually fall from here. But at this point, I wouldn't say that the structure right now is bearish yet. I'm just saying that if we were to actually put this in our portfolio, somewhere around 480, 500, you should be looking to sell it already.
Take some profit, and then when it does drop, again, if you like the stock, you can always buy back when it's cheaper. So this is more of a 3 to 6 months trade, yes?
Yep, this one, yep, you can say that maybe 4 weeks or 8 weeks kind of trade. So at this point, you have a resistance at around 417, right? 417 level here, which I've drawn this dotted line. And we have a higher swing low. So I would say that the trajectory for this particular stock is upwards actually, right? So I would say that it should actually be going towards that area. And let me just mark that point there. So, okay, it could actually go towards 464 at this point and even go sideways from here and then before pushing higher. But once it reaches around this zone, if it doesn't go beyond this slanting line, I would say that we got to be a bit careful and maybe take profits at that point.
Yeah, totally agree.
Right.
So folks, Intuit looks like a good one to put into our portfolio, but always be mindful of your time horizon. And obviously, we always tell you this, whenever you want to start trading, have a plan first. Don't just blindly buy. And as always, this is not an invitation to buy these stocks. It is simply our view, and it is for your entertainment and educational purposes only.
So as long as the price does not fall below this slanting line, I would say that it will continue on an upward trend. But if it starts to fall below this slanting line, then you know what to do. You got to basically cut your loss, right? And exit the trade as soon as possible before it goes into a further downtrend.
Yeah. So I think for a less than 3 month trade, would you say medium, high conviction? What do you think?
I would say that due to the fact that the overall market is retracing, so I'll put it at medium conviction. Okay. But if let's say the overall market turn bullish, then I guess this stock will be high conviction. But for at this point, taking into consideration the concerns of the overall market relating to inflation and all that, I think we should just put it as medium conviction at this point.
All right, so medium conviction. I'm just taking my notes down, medium conviction, so that when we revisit this later on in the week and even next Sunday, we'll see our calls for it. Now, I'm going to share my next stock pick for you. You probably have a hint there. It's on Adi's screen. It is the Hershey Company. If you're not familiar with the Hershey's Company, I suspect you either on a strict diet like myself all the time, haha. Because I don't know what Hershey is. I swear I don't know. I just close my eyes and I eat all the stuff they produce. They are one of the largest chocolate manufacturers in the world. They are one of the oldest as well. I think they are over almost 100 years old, I think. They have presences in 60 different countries. And if you look at their profit margins, they have been doing very fantastically well over the past few years. I mean, ultimately, who doesn't like chocolate? They don't not only manufacture chocolate, they also do a lot of baked goods. So they both do, what do you call that? Chocolate for both retail consumption, chocolate bars and all that we can eat, as well as for baking and bakeries, and they do supply. And so they're one of the biggest companies that deals in chocolate amongst other things. And so over the past, I don't know, if I look at the charts over the past 10, 20 years, it's been doing fantastically well. I love Hershey's as a company. I have a bit of a sweet tooth. And so if you believe that company, you can also definitely add in to your portfolio over the long term. But of course, do your own due diligence first, folks. Let's look at the charts with Adi. Adi, all yours.
Okay. Let me just share my screen with you guys again. Okay, looking at the Hersheys company. All right, so we saw that the bottom was created somewhere in 2008 during the financial crisis. So at that point, the price was about $34. All right, so during last year's break to the downside, price was actually trading around $160, and it came down as low as $109. But right now you can see that price has actually broken the resistance set before the crash in last year. So if we look at the charts right now, we can see that resistance, right, is at around the 160 level. Okay, it's at around the 160 level at this point. And you can see that basically at that point, price couldn't actually go higher, right?
Yeah, that was the resistance up there back in mid-2020.
Yeah, so it is somewhere in September 2019, to be exact. And actually we saw the resistance coming into play again. Okay, the price actually at 160 came down to as low as 139 and retest the resistance again in the 2nd of March last year before it took a plunge and came down as low as $109 from a high of 161. However, what we can see right now is that price is continuing to rise and it has broken above this resistance, right? So, which is telling us that, there is potentially a lot more upside for this particular stock. So if you take this low and you project it upwards, right, and you just do a clone of this particular line. So we could be targeting somewhere at $182.
Oh.
Right? So that could be the next resistance and the target that this stock could actually be going towards. So we have another upside also of about
15%?
About $11, just below 10% actually. Yeah. So if you are targeting 5 to 8% for this stock, there is a potential for it to go there.
So let's talk about risk reward ratio then. If my upside is about $11, what's my downside risk? Okay.
So if you are actually, the downside risk basically is price going back below to 157, 158, somewhere around here. So we know that the resistance, so let's say we put our stop loss somewhere around here, which is around 152, let's say, because I just connect the bottom of this particular move here and connect it to this swing low. So if price breaks this line, which is somewhere around here, about 152.65, then you would want to get out of this particular stock. However, having seen this resistance actually being broken recently, I don't think that there's I don't think it will go below this 160.50 level. It will not. I don't think it will close below it. It will take some time, in fact, because it took quite some time here for price to break this particular resistance, and for it to suddenly go down is less. The probability is lesser. So to buy now, and I guess this is the support, and this is your stop loss. Okay, over the medium term, that is. And anyway, this is the weekly chart. So the way I see it, yeah. Once it reaches around this area, maybe you want to take half of your position off, take some profit, and leave the rest, in the market. And just if it comes back to your position, you get to this current entry level, you could actually just take out the position at break even.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
well,
that
it
could be
looks
a
like the risk-reward ratio is quite okay. I would say for every $1 of risk we're taking, we can potentially be earning, say, $1.50, right or not?
At this point, I would say if you're, I mean, at this point, if you put it as just below here, your risk reward, I mean, if you are targeting higher levels, then it will make more sense actually. Yeah. You cannot just take, I think you got to actually go towards 200 as your final target. Then it will make sense to actually take this trade. Yeah. So first target at 182.88, right? So take about maybe 30 to 40% of your position off as profit, and then put the rest at break even, stop loss, so that if it comes back down, you will just be out of the position at stop loss, and you will not have incurred a loss except for the commission. So maybe for me personally, I would just put the stop loss above my entry so that it covers my commissions as well.
Makes sense.
Right. So you would target this first, this point here first. Let's name this TP1, profit 1. Right, and then we can name the 200 round number level, okay, as our TP2, which is our take profit level 2. Yeah, so if it continues all the way to TP1, we'll take our first take profit. But if it continues further up, we will actually be taking full profit at somewhere around the 200 level, being a round number. And if it reverses, once it reaches TP1, basically we will be out at break even for the rest of the trade. And if it actually goes below this level, we are out of the trade totally with a loss. So, yep, that's the trade idea, I think, actually, for Hersheys company. What do you think?
It looks good. Again, Hersheys is something that I would like to have in my portfolio over the long term. And looking at your chart, it looks like there's quite a bit of potential. If we can buy in at 170, goes up by $30 to 200, that's quite a nice tidy profit.
Yeah, it's about nearly 30%, possibly 125, 26% profit to target actually. Yeah. And this is a breakout trade actually. We call this a breakout trade, whereby we have resistance level and it has broken out above it. So a breakout trade, there's a few things that could happen actually. If you are more of an aggressive investor, a little bit more aggressive, you can be taking a trade at this, where it closed right now, 171. However, for the more conservative traders, they would actually wait for price to reverse to this resistance then support level at the 161.70 level. Right? So there's actually two ways to actually take this trade. If you put yourself in the category of the more slightly aggressive trader, then you would actually just buy at where it is right now. But if you would like to be a bit more conservative and less aggressive, you would wait for price to actually reverse to this resistance and support level. Yeah,
a bit cheaper, right?
Yeah, a bit cheaper, not so much, right? Just about less than 10% actually.
Correct. If you look at the longer term trend, it is on an uptrend. And so how much cheaper can it be? And so depending on where you are at, folks, if you're more like Adi said, you're more aggressive, it would be a higher conviction. And if you are less aggressive like me, a bit more conservative, medium conviction, let's wait for it to calm down a little bit more to about maybe 160 odd, and then we can buy in. Adi, what do you think about Hersheys?
Yep, that's why for me, if it's my own money, you know, I can sometimes be a bit aggressive. I would just follow the momentum and just buy at this point, and thinking, you know, if it comes back down, I will just follow. I will just hold on to my stock, or I would just, in fact, even buy more.
Just like me. So folks, again, we got to say this, it is only for education and entertainment purposes. You have to do your own due diligence to see whether these counters make sense, whether they fit into your portfolio. This, again, not recommendations to buy. And so on that note, Adi, what are your closing last words, closing statements for tonight?
Well, it's very simple. Since we can't go Hari Raya, Jalan Hari Raya, there's actually more time for you guys to actually look at charts, learn more stuff, and tune into our show.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, here in Singapore, we just got we went back down to phase 2. So now work from home is the default for most people. And so if, you know, we can't go out, go social gathering and all that, you know, the best investment is always your own education, right, Adi?
Yes, definitely, Afiq. Definitely.
And so on that note, on the topic of education, I'm going to leave you guys with this. We are proud to say we'll be launching a small little private community for our Halal Investing Network members. And so look out for the posts in the next coming week or so. We'll let you sign up for it. It's absolutely free. Tonight, we share, you know, a few counters here and there, but within the free community, we want to share even more. And of course, inshallah, we have other people sharing their ideas, their trade ideas, as well as investing advice. Look out for the posts, sign up for it as soon as we can, because we do want to limit it to a few hundred people max, inshallah. But if it does well, maybe we open up even more. Right, Adi?
Yep, why not? Right, but for those who are actually fast, you take action quickly and you are decisive, I guess you'll be rewarded with a seat in the space, right?
Yes, of course. Of course, if you want to be a trader, if you want to start actively investing, you got to have the confidence in taking action. And Alhamdulillah, I think over the past, we've been doing this for 3 weeks now. And inshallah, we'll continue to do more, add more value to our community. We can see that our portfolio is doing quite well. I should also one day review our passive portfolio, right? Something that's long-term, that doesn't do much, but it has been returning good profits. And so inshallah, folks, that will happen in the next coming weeks. Look out for the next post to sign up. Share this video to all your friends. Subscribe, hit the follow button, because ultimately we just want to help you make some money the halal way. Okay, this is Afiq, Chief Finance Ninja at Fast Refinance, co-founder of Halal Investing Network. My partner, Adi Ismail, fantastic guy. I hope you've had a lot of fun sharing with us, Adi. Tell us your last few words before we end for the night.
Right. So thank you, Afiq. You know, it's been enjoyable actually doing this with you, looking for new stocks, hunting for new stocks that has potential, and sharing it with everyone out there. So yeah, I guess I just want to say have a good night, have a good sleep, and wake up to a bright day tomorrow. Yep. And yeah, that's it.
Awesome. Thank you again, folks. I want to thank Adi for your time. Thank you very much, brother, for all your insight and your advice. Folks, I talk to him a lot. Our WhatsApp is on fire. He's got so many good trade ideas that we cannot share. We don't have enough time to share on our Halal Investing Network Facebook. We might not even share it in the private group, but do join. Inshallah, we'll get more value for you. I want to acknowledge Adi for his time. And most importantly, I want to acknowledge you guys for giving us the support, for watching. Again, share, subscribe to our channel, subscribe to our Facebook group, subscribe to YouTube. Just look out and let us know how best we can do better. Let's close off this session with Tasbih Kafara and Surah Al-As. Okay, folks, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Have a fantastic week ahead. And last one is COVID Mubarak. Stay safe, wash your hands, stay at home, no social gatherings. Inshallah, all this will blow over and we'll be richer for it. Okay, Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam.